You touched the thermostat, didn't you? He's like, it didn't, I swear to God. You know, I have to say, Brian, if I'm a single girl out there and I find out that Brian Chesky is single and I can, like, stay in his house, have you ever?
Show him some respect.
Well, now let's turn to this. Former First Lady Michelle Obama has been on quite the podcast spree these days, and it feels like she's airing her and, well, her own and President Obama's dirty laundry. Let's try to look at that.
What?
Sometimes I get in the bed and I'm freezing.
Yes.
And other times it's like, oh my God, take my skin off.
It's like the change in temperature is wild.
Oh, menopause?
For any woman, anytime, but
And
especially
it's
this
a
age.
battle with a partner, right? Because he's always cold. And I'm like, do not touch. And sometimes I wake up hot and I'll wake him up. Did you touch the thermostat? You touched the thermostat, didn't you? He's like, it didn't, I swear to God. He now knows. He's afraid of the thermostat.
No, Michelle.
He's like, it didn't, I swear to God.
You know what I think is super interesting about this is that if you take a look at Trump, the Trump administration, you know, it's clear that the American people wanted something different, right? They didn't want this button-up suit and tie, super political, always by the book, you know, giving off this fake sort of persona. It is clear that American people are absolutely done with that. Well, at least 50% of the country, absolutely done with that, and is ready for something a little bit more real of an active sitting president. You know, we're going from mainstream media where everything is stuffy, has a particular sounding voice, to more decentralized media, more opinion-based media, not from these large organizations or institutions, but more from like everyday people like you and I. Within that, podcasts have exponentially exploded over the last decade or so. To see former wives of sitting presidents get up on podcast and continue this emasculation. I mean, why? Why? Michelle, what you do? Why are you doing this?
Bruh.
What is the purpose? What is the reason? We don't need to know this. You understand what I'm saying? We don't need to know what is happening within the bedroom of Michelle and Barack Obama, all right? Is this just like a Views thing? You're utilizing Barack, emasculating the poor young brother. This was the leader of the free world. Yo, how do you become the leader of the free world and you still got your woman, your wife, scared of God? You're like, what are you, like, he look like a scared, like, what is the meaning of this? Show some respect, Barack. You need to start throwing furniture in that crib, you heard? You just walk in there one day and just start chucking furniture. Don't you bring up my name no more, woman. You better stop bringing up what happens in the bedroom, woman. Stand on something, Barack. Stand on something, baby. Damn it. This is why so many men are just taking a look at this side of the political party and they're like, they ain't nothing over here for me. They ain't nothing over here for me, baby. It ain't nothing over here because you could still have been the ruler of the free world and still have your lady, after you get out of office, come up and swear to God, please don't hurt me. Like, this shit is so crazy. It happens at that level. It's going to happen if you a damn VP at a bank. It's going to happen if you working 60 hours per week plumbing or construction to my blue-collar savages. Apparently, it's going to happen at all levels, all right? Unless y'all put your foot down, damn it. Barack needs to ban all relationship content from this henceforth. Come on, Barack. Shit. Swear to God. Well, we're going to look at that one more time. Hold on.
Thermostat. You touched the thermostat, didn't you? He's like, it didn't, I swear to God. He now knows. He's afraid of the thermostat.
He's afraid.
You do not touch anything in this room after I go to sleep. Do you wear an eye?
You know what? I'm just not ready for that.
Word.
I'm not ready to hear about her menopause.
Word.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
That's
for
a lot, yeah.
So I don't know if she's joking around or throwing shade at her husband. Question.
Yeah, but it just doesn't matter. Like, why does it need to be entered into the public sphere? Why does it need to be in the public? Like, can nothing be held privately nowadays? Or is it just, I got a podcast now, Barack, whatever happens, happens. I got my brother up out of here. We're going to talk about everything that we want to talk about. You can't do shit about it, Barack. You can't do shit about it. We're going to talk about what we want to talk about. Like, this is absurd to me. This is so crazy. In a day and age where the prioritization is in entertaining an audience as opposed to keeping the sanctity of relationship, let us lead off thinking that Barack is this strong, you know what I mean? Like, let us off think, don't give anything else within that, because then other women are going to follow suit. They're going to think that this is normal behavior.
Latest comment to Airbnb CEO is certainly raising some eyebrows. Watch this.
I have to say, Brian, if I'm a single girl out there and I find out that Brian Chesky is single and I can stay in his house,
Here she
have
goes.
you ever?
There you go. Right to the relationship,
ever...
Brian. You don't have to be feeling pressured.
No, but we've never talked about
he
this.
He just got here.
Hold on. I don't think I'm hearing this correctly.
And I can out there and I find out that Brian Chesky is single and I can stay in his house.
Here she
have
goes.
you ever?
There you go. Right to the
Michelle.
relationship, Brian. You don't have to be feeling pressured.
No, but we've never talked about this.
He just got here.
Have you ever?
Her and her husband have tried to set me up before, so.
Oh, he's deflecting in a very respectful way.
I'm very invested in Brian's love life.
Everybody's got a podcast now. Isn't that crazy? Listen, I like when we see leaders from whatever party. I like when we see them kind of drop the facade and be themselves. I think we all enjoy that. I'm not mad at her for telling personal stories. But there is something about being a first lady and maybe kind of guarding a legacy a little bit, especially since it's the Obamas. People love the Obamas. And she's kind of airing out all the dirty laundry. I don't know if she's doing it for views because her podcast initially was struggling a little bit.
Saw that.
And so maybe she feels that she needs to do this, throw some dirty laundry out, make it like a reality show to get some more eyeballs and attention. But it's certainly not like any first lady we've seen before.
Well, he could just
this is some modern ass
Village
shit.
Ex-girlfriend and get lots of attention for both. Sorry, too soon. So, Alicia, this is like a give-up day when someone just puts their sweats on and says, "I give up." Let me just let it all hang out. I mean, what is going on?
I think to Tommy's point, it just might be content, and she might just be looking for people listening. I will say, just on a personal note, I'm very glad that my husband and I agree on the temperature in the house. We have that in common. Thank God for the car, because you can have independent climates, and I can, he can have the air conditioning on, have it cold, and I can warm it up and have this seat heater on, and that's wonderful. But as for their marriage, I don't know. You don't hear him doing that.
No.
Oh, that's a good.
And I think that's the best point when you think about all of this. You don't hear him doing that. You don't hear him going out on podcasts and speaking about relationships. You don't hear him emasculating his wife, the former first lady. And what's crazy is, or maybe not crazy, but to be expected is that you will never hear him do that. So why cannot the same level and degree of respect be granted on the other side? This is that happy wife, happy life shit. That's the only way I can think about this. This is the happy wife, happy life. Go on ahead, Michelle. Just go do your thing. Just please, just don't talk about, just please do anything, but just shut the fuck up, Barack. As he cowers in a goddamn corner. Now you're entering that idea into the public sphere. Michelle, take out all the relationship content in regards to you and your husband. Don't tell me they're going to have like a damn red table talk in the future. Michelle Obama going to sit down, and then Barack going to sit down on the other side of the table and start talking about entanglements when there's more information, if it's true information in regards to a future divorce. But what this sounds like maybe as well is that because there is rumors in regards to a split up, a break within their marriage, within their relationship, perhaps she is privy to more information than what we are privy to. So she's letting it hang a little bit more. Could that be it? But at least on the way out, and for the rest of your life, if you've been married to the man for that long, show him some respect. Not show him or talk about him cowering in a goddamn corner in regards to a thermostat, or talking to a single young man talking about if you were single, you sleep over his house. Like, it's tasteless. That's tasteless. Let's finish up the content.
Good point.
Can I just say, the first thought I had, this is a guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
And he's
And
arguing
it's still not
with
enough.
his wife about the temperature because he needs his
That's
blanket.
crazy.
Stars are
I
just
know
like
that's
us,
I don't want to get too much into their bedroom, but the point is, I don't see Mother Teresa being worried about the temperature, or Albert Schweitzer, needing an extra blanket. I mean, it doesn't fit the idea of my old idea of what a Nobel Peace Prize winner would be willing to do. I don't know.
Leave that man legacy.
Yeah.
Haley.
My husband and I argue over the temperature all the time, so I get it. I love this. I'm a sucker for palace intrigue. I love learning this about them. It reminded me of one of my favorite moments when Greg Gutfeld asked Melania Trump about whether Donald Trump wore pajamas or not.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I just really appreciate those insider details. I think it's funny. I think it's interesting. And I think it's relatable.
Okay.
I want the Jill Biden podcast next.
Oh, no.
So, Jill,
don't
why
put our
didn't you
mind
try
there.
to save him? Okay.
I find it super interesting, by the way, that they got Tommy Lahren over there. And I remember doing content on her about 4-ish years ago where she was speaking about, essentially dating men and how men are not enough, super feminist views, even her having the talking points that speak about kind of the oddity of her doing content to this degree. We ain't never going to see Melania up on a podcast, Joe Biden's wife. Joe Biden's wife is probably aged out of the podcast game, but nevertheless, we ain't never going to see it from the other side of the coin. And I just wish that, if she was to demonstrate relationship, it would more show Barack in more of a power position. And it's not to say that she hadn't done that in the past. I'm not saying that. But at the same junction, now that she has this new podcast, I would want to see nothing but demonstrating Barack's power, not in some weird way, but in a way to demonstrate a healthy relationship, those that have roles or at least respects the role of him being a Nobel Peace Prize winning former president of the United States. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Drop your comments down in the comment box down below. Do you think that this is to be expected for the modern woman of today? Do you think that I care a little bit too much about this? Am I reading too far into this? And I don't think that I am. I just got to think about if you're going to be doing a podcast and there's any talking points in regards to your marriage, if those things are not cleared by your husband, or if you're making that person seem negative in any light, irrespective of him being the former president of the United States, that just ain't going to happen. Not on my watch. Drop the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, peace.
You is ratchet as they come. Rainbow weaves and batwing lashes, weighing more than a man. What time is your football practice? I bet you can hit that A gift like a mug. How you big back it? Said a man must buy you gifts. Where here goes a Fitbit tracker.